You're watching TVC Breakfast. It's time to look at the headlines across Nigerian newspapers this morning. And I have my regulars to make sense of all of this. We have in the studio Chartered Accountant and Public Affairs Analyst, Sesan Okunade. Good morning. It's good to have you join me.
Mike,
Great.
good morning.
And thank God it's Friday.
It's a day we all look up to for us to rest after the...
No, of course, there will be. Well, then CEO CKN News, Kehinde Nwandu is here with me as well. CKN, good morning.
Thank you, Mike.
And thank God it's Friday. Please, don't make them look for me.
I don't want to.
I tell you, many of the things that happen in the studio are just our own program by itself.
It's a program.
It's for our own program, for our consumption. Thank you. All right, let's begin with the Nigerian Tribune now. Nigerian Tribune says things getting worse in Nigeria. Sultan says, as Sultan of Sokoto, suspend arms sales to Nigeria. Kehinde Nwandu to Raki tell US and the EU. Kano elders sue National Assembly. The AGF also over IPOB secession threat. Nigeria's dissolution won't solve problems. Ganduje tells secessionists. Okay, that's the Nigerian Tribune. Let's see if we can look at this when discussions open shortly. Daily Times is next. Kano governors to secessionists, drop your agitation, embrace dialogue. All right? Drop your agitation, embrace dialogue. Says the world will not respect Africa if Nigeria breaks up. Senator Okorocha calls for equal rights, fairness, and justice. All that on the front page of the Daily Times. From there, let's go to the First News. First News says Wike dares Secondus, attends BOT meeting uninvited as PDP leadership crisis worsens. That's First News. From there, let's go to the Punch newspaper. Relief for Secondus as PDP BOT, as the Board of Trustees tackles Wike, rejects interim exco. A PDP chieftain say Secondus must complete tenure, fault party chairman's handling of crisis. A board sets up a conflict resolution committee, cautions members against unguarded utterances. That's the Punch newspaper this morning. Right, from there, let's go to the Sun, Daily Sun. PDP governors, others to decide Secondus' fate in 72 hours. BOT meets, seeks way out of crisis. Don't play into APC's hands. Atiku warns, denies fueling crisis. And Deputy National Publicity Secretary Odeyemi withdraws resignation letter. All right, that's a Daily Sun. The Guardian, crisis lingers as PDP BOT fails to reach consensus. A fresh peace panel set up to resolve crisis. Members split on Wike Secondus feud. Wike's presence generates controversy as party confirms his membership of BOT as a board of trustees. PDP national officer withdraws resignation. All this on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. The Vanguard is next. Crisis. Stakeholders rally to save APC PDP. A PDP BOT sets up reconciliation committee, and APC governors pass vote of confidence on Buni. APC explains Supreme Court judgment as crisis in Osun Enugu Festa will resolve PDP crisis with internal mechanism. Otom is saying that's the governor of Benue State. Wike storms PDP BOT meeting. Atiku calls for calm. All that political issues on the front page of the Vanguard. Daily Trust, party crisis. APC governors back Buni as founding fathers move to save the PDP. That's the Daily Trust newspaper there. Okay, from there let's go to the Leadership. Leadership newspaper. 1 month after Matawale's defection, sharing formula for political offices, tears Zamfara APC apart. All right, sharing formula for political offices, tears Zamfara APC apart. Okay. Governor demands 70%, gives 30% to Yari, Marafa, others, and so on. You see the breakdown of all of those things down the front page of the Leadership newspaper. The Blueprint is next. Blueprint says Masari to Chief of Army Staff, 10 Katsina local government areas under severe daily attacks. 10 10 Katsina local government areas under severe daily attacks. That's the governor of Katsina State to the Chief of Army Staff. Zamfara Speaker's father, stepmother, 4 others abducted. Kidnappers demand 700 million naira for Bayelsa SSG mother's freedom. And 24 soldiers killed in Boko Haram attacks in Chad. That's issues of security there. Okay, that's a blueprint. National economy says Nigeria's refineries to go up more despite 2 trillion naira spent on revamp. We can't sell dead refineries. Federal government is saying this. We cannot sell dead refineries, you know. Okay, if time also permits, we'll talk about this on the show. Business Day. Eurobond, IMF gave CBN firepower to defend Naira. Eurobond, IMF gave CBN firepower to defend Naira. All right, that's Business Day. News Direct is the last one we're looking at now. News Direct says NSC border security, uncertainty over supply of $18.12 million cargo scanners for seaports. Uncertainty over supply of $18 million cargo scanners for seaports. That's on the Customs Service border security. Okay, that's News Direct. Okay, now let's start with this story on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. Things are getting worse in Nigeria. Sultan says suspend arms sales to Nigeria. Akintoye, Nwodo, Turaki, and others are telling the U.S. and the EU. CKN, I wonder what you make of this. When the Sultan is saying things are getting worse, of course, that's the, you will say that resonates a lot with so many Nigerians, whether it is by security or it's by economy or the case may be. But what do you make of the call that U.S. and EU should stop sale of arms to Nigeria?
Thank you very much once again for having me. For me, things are not getting worse. Things are worse. So it's an elevation of what the Sultan said, because we've gotten to a point where everything seems not to be working again. And this is the right time where we think that we need leadership. Everything boils down to leadership. If we'll be able to get our leadership right, then every other thing will fall in place. Security, economy, name it. Practically everything is at its lowest ebb now. And as of last year, the government, especially in the economy, the government were giving the excuses of, oh, COVID-19 it has really affected a lot of things. But we practically gone beyond that. And so the Sultan, a revered cleric and a leader, is saying the truth. And I hope that the government will listen to what he's saying. He's not a member of APC, neither is he a member of PDP, so he cannot be seen to be a member of the opposition party because partisan. Most often than not, when you say certain things, they say, oh, it's because you're a member of the opposition and the rest of them. But coming to the issue raised that US shouldn't sell arms to Nigeria, to me, that's a no-no. We need to get our arms. We're having serious security challenges, and every opportunity we have to be able to get as many arms as possible, we should be able to get that. This is the time for our allies in the US, in Europe, anywhere we have them, that they believe in the integrity of this country, they believe that this country should be one, we should be able to secure ourselves. They should do everything humanly possible to assist us in giving us arms. And not only that, because if Nigeria sneezes, every part of West Africa and Africa will catch go. We over 200 million.
Africa as a whole.
Africa as a whole. Not just we are already catching cold with most of our people migrating to their places without revealing well. So if we have serious problem, internal problem, we submerge Benin, all this Benin name, I don't want to talk of Ghana. Ghana Jollof will be and Senegalese Jollof will be a tight play. I'm telling you. So it is in their own best interest, and most often than not, what most of these countries also look at is that what is the interest for us? If anything happened to this country, how is it going to affect Don't forget that the US has just left Afghanistan. See what is happening. Practically, the Taliban have practically taken over Afghanistan. And probably, I believe the US might be regretting leaving Afghanistan the way they did. What are they doing now? Most of the interpreters that they had, or they hired, when they were in Afghanistan, they are now trying to ship them to the US. And it's causing a lot of problems. About 20,000 have been going to be given visas to move to. The same thing happened in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is having issue with China and the rest of them. US is now making sure that most Hong Kong dissidents are given enough room to either stay in the US or get that. So anyway, in any way you look at it, it's not going to be only Nigerian problem. It's going to be a global problem for them. So the earlier, the better. They've given up. We've gotten about 6 of our initial the Tucano. We're expecting another 12. We heard that there's another one that the U.S. legislators are trying to hold on to. There were conflicting reports. The legislators say that yes, we'll look into it. The federal government, through the spokesman of the government, who is the Minister of Communication, what we read, said there's nothing like that. So we don't even know the true position of things. But the fact is that we cannot, we as Nigeria should not be seen to be telling the US and other European countries not to assist us in the problem we are facing.
All right.
Now.
Maybe. Well, I wouldn't know the mind or the perspective to which the call is made. On one hand, okay, if the government has said that, or we've had issues where government officials have said there is an infiltration in the government security system, which we've heard in the past, and somehow how security agencies are ambushed sometimes, that makes them conclude that if you bring these arms to Nigeria or give them to Nigerians, they will find their way in the wrong hands. I wouldn't know if that is the perspective for the call to say don't sell arms to Nigeria. But what do you make of this, though?
Yeah, if that is the position of the Sultan, saying the people should look for a way to stop giving us arms, we should.
Okay. So, sorry, Sesan, let me put you on hold a little bit. We'll come back for you to make this point, but we'll have to go on a short break. You're watching TVC Breakfast. We'll be right back after the break. You're watching TVC Breakfast. We're looking at the headlines to see what the newspapers are saying this morning, and my regulars are in the studio doing justice to making sense out of all of them. I have Kehinde Nwandu here, as well as Sesan Okunade. Well, Sesan, you were making a point earlier when I asked about the story on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune.
Yeah, if the perspective at which Sultan is looking at it is infiltration into the military force, I think we should do internal check of some of those problems and not withholding back, because you know this ammunition is like the raw material that you need to fiddle to make stability. We have tried to look at dialogue, you know, look at certain things and it's not working. And the only area people are looking at is to give it, you know, add with the people that are actually, because we see the killing happening every day. One of the riders spoke about the Zamfara speaker, you know, the father, the mother, and some people being adopted, and the ransom is being requested. So, but I feel that beyond this, economically, it's not that it's getting worse. We are already in the drain. Because an average Nigerian cannot even have the normal one, you know, we used to have 111. That is for our meals, for people to even survive by eating. Night, it's gone to like 010. People just look for something to take during the day and go to bed, wake up.
Just to survive.
Just to survive. And when you are not economically empowered, you are as good as a dead person. So if we can look for ways, we have suggested so many things, but the government just decide on their own to do it. Can we ask the question, the fundamental problem that is here, and address it? Long, everybody is suffering, and because people are suffering, they are tilting more towards the side of criminality. It's not only the abductors and other things. Crime is ravaging every day. Even in the state where we are, people are being attacked in their car. We are only talking of the big one, but the small ones are facing us there. So things are really, really bad, and government must look critically into it, because people that are not empowered economically, definitely no other things for them to do than to venture into criminality, and the life of citizens who are just innocent might just be at risk on this particular thing.
Okay, the Blueprint newspaper says 10 Katsina local government areas are under severe daily attacks, and that's the governor making that statement, calling on the Chief of Army Staff to do something about it. Chris?
It's quite unfortunate. This is a paradox because Katsina State is the home state of the president. So if that is coming from the governor of Katsina State, then that shows the level of insecurity across Nigeria. Not only in Katsina State, even in Borno State, several local governments in Borno State are being attacked on a daily basis. In fact, at a point we heard that there are just certain local governments, the only place that you can safely go to is just the local government headquarters.
Yes.
Anything apart from that is a problem. And that also stretches to other parts of the country. So it is worrisome. The president normally go to Katsina State to have his holidays, and I also know that people, especially governors, whenever I go to his state, governors flew down there to visit him and the rest of them. But if we're having this high level of insecurity in Katsina as a state, then you can imagine what is happening in Zamfara and other parts of the area. Benue State governors several times have come out to say, this is the problem I'm having. And what always come out, especially from the spokesperson of the government, is, oh, what are you doing? It's because you are not in the opposition and the rest of them. But this is coming from a governor of APC, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So it is not a, and that is, for him to come out with that statement means that he is having serious security challenges in the state. And there cannot be any development without, irrespective of whatever you try to put in place, it will always be a problem.
Okay. Sesan, before us, we'll round off just in 1 minute. The point there is the military has always assured of being on top of the situation. But when they're handling issues from here, we have issues busting out at the other side, you know, and so on and so forth. Now, what do you make of the assurances, continuous assurances from the military?
These things we've been hearing in the last 5-6 years of taking charge of some of these things, but it keeps increasing, it keeps getting worse on a daily basis. But you know, the perspective I've given to it is the CSO of each state, which is the governor. What are we doing internally? Like we keep saying, some of those problems emanate more from the ungoverned area where they lack, you know, the presence of governance just to pass their grievances to the government. We keep saying it, like Sekian said, if you go to Maiduguri, the state capital is not being told, because if that is done, then the governor will not have a grip on it. So you discover that most of this problem is being felt at the ungoverned area. So what is the government doing to penetrate into this locality and let them feel the presence of governance in such a way that there will not be a reaction for them to be heard? You see, this banditry and adoption and everything is another way of agitating, of saying we want to feel your presence in our area. So the state government should look for a way to make sure that this locality too have the impact. You see, it keeps increasing. A local area that is being termed to be very peaceful, after a short while, you just hear that people are actually making unrest and certain things. So government should swing into action and make sure that there is serious penetration into the locality for more peace to reign.
In fact, just a few days ago, we heard the governor of Borno State had, supported about 1,000 hunters,
as
a way of helping in security.
But that's still they can do.
Yeah, we have to leave it here now. And thank you very much, Okunade, for coming on the program.
My pleasure.
Thank you. And Chris Kehinde Nwandu, thank you very much for coming.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.